Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Takeover Tuesdays. Hello out there. Hope your morning is off to a fabulous start. Mine is. And today is Takeover Tuesday. So, y'all know I'm always super excited because we always have special guests and we learn amazing things and just get to connect. So, I'm always super excited and pumped up on Takeover Tuesdays. For those of you that have never joined us before, let me just take a moment to tell you what this show is all about. So, this show is about talking to small business owners, getting their story, talking to them about their products and services, and just getting to know them better in their business. It's also about connecting community. The hope is that the more we know and the more we share, the more that we can all come together and support each other on everything we're doing. So, without further ado, as always, I have a very special guest today, and I'm going to bring her in the studio. Let me get her in here. Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So,
Wonderful.
let me give your introduction. This is Daphne Rose. She is the owner of Different Strokes Paint and Sip. And Daphne, we're just going to jump right into the interview and get to the good stuff and tell us about you, yourself, who you are.
Okay, so my name is Daphne Rose, and I am the owner of Different Strokes Paint and Sip Art Studio, located in Aurora, Colorado, right in the intersection of Isle and Chambers. I opened my studio in 2017, September of 2017. And we've been going strong ever since, except for, when COVID hit, we had to adhere to the guidelines, and some of that time meant we had to close the studio. And so now we're in a reopening phase, and we're just excited and ready to just go forward.
Yeah, I'm excited too for you guys. So tell us, how did you get to the point of, getting the place at I Live in Chambers, and how did that whole process work? I mean, what was your journey in that process?
Well, I mean, my journey, it was a long and really tough one. Unfortunately, my story isn't that uncommon. I was in corporate America all of my adult life until I was discriminated against and just subjected to a lot of harassment and discrimination, so much so that it took me out of the workplace. And during that time, I realized that I didn't want to be a part of corporate America anymore. And so I was out of work for almost 3 years. I still get a little emotional when I have to talk about it. But during that time, I just started kind of going inward and seeking Christ to find out what my true purpose in life was. And I've always been a very creative person. So I just started looking at different franchise opportunities, and none of them really struck me because I didn't want to have to be in another situation where I was either paying it up to someone or making someone else's life better. So the paint and sip concept is not mine, but I figured that I could definitely do it on my own without a franchise. And that's what I started checking into, was everything that would be required to get in the paint and sip industry. I did a lot of research. I stayed up. It's like so unbelievable that I'm still in existence because I truly did not sleep during those 3 years. And I would go during that time, I would go and just look at different buildings and different locations of where I could see myself doing business at. And I was like in Southlands, all different parts of Aurora. I didn't want to have to commute a really long ways from home. And so the location that I'm at now, actually about maybe 6 doors down, there was a unit open and available, but I wasn't fully ready to go ahead and get into a lease. And that wasn't going to come for months later, but I just figured that I had the vision. I knew I was going to do it, but I just needed to be more comfortable in a financial realm to go ahead and make that dive. And so months later, I went back and looked in that same shopping center, and another unit was available, and I was ready to make the dive. And so everything just like happened um, perfectly. It was perfectly aligned. And during the 3 years, like I say, when I was trying to figure it all out, once I knew I wanted to do sip and paint, I started buying items for my studio. I truly envisioned it. And I was able to go into that space and truly create what I had already envisioned. And we opened our doors September of 2017. and I didn't have to I didn't have to post ads or anything to get instructors to come and join my team. Um, it was just coming to me like friends knew artists or their kids knew artists, and it was just all so easy to just get everything going, and that's how it happened. And so we're still here 4 years later, and we plan to be around and expand.
Yeah, that's very inspirational. And thank you for sharing your journey with us. And
Nope.
I mean, we're glad you're here. And it's special to me because I didn't mention this to you when we chatted, but that is literally where I grew up. So very close to there. My parents still live in that area. So
Nice.
that area is special to me because, that's my neighborhood. So I love that you're in that area because we don't have anything like that over there. So it's great that
Right.
you're over there. And I actually, you probably don't remember, but I know you see a whole bunch of people. But during kind of this last phase of COVID, I was actually at a birthday party. We had, I mean, it was a blast. Like it really was. It was one of the best birthday parties ever when we
At
went.
my studio?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
How exciting.
yeah, I met you real briefly, but a friend had her birthday there, and we had a blast. Yeah, so even during this time, and you had everything situated and everything for it was COVID safe, so it was great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Glad you
yeah.
had a good time.
How so? You mentioned earlier how COVID, of course, impacted your business. How does the business look now, as opposed to during? Have you shifted some more things, or are you? How are you running the business now?
So like I was saying, we had to completely shut down. Of course, when COVID first started, we had to completely shut down the business. And at that time, I knew I had to pivot if I wanted to stay afloat. And so within my pivot, we went virtual and we started doing virtual classes. And those weren't as popular in the beginning, but they ended up really kind of taking off towards the end when we could reopen our studio. And because this is a visual arts based business, personally, I just like doing sip and paints in person as opposed to virtual. But I'm glad that we had the opportunity to actually see that we could carry on with business in a virtual setting if anything else were to ever come up or stop us from being in person. And, then it happened again, like in November, we had to completely shut down. But by that time, we had the virtual sessions down to a T. So we were able to just pick up where we left off. It wasn't as lucrative as being in person, but again, it did help keep us afloat.
Yeah, that's good to hear. How has your in person changed prior to COVID? So now, what are the rules versus beforehand? Because I hadn't been there beforehand.
Yeah. So of course we have to abide by all of the restrictions, which with the social distancing. My studio, it's not that large, but prior to COVID, we could hold up to 42 guests. With the COVID restrictions, we had to go all the way down to 10 guests. And that's just because it's just impossible to have 6 feet of room and still have 42 people in my space. So abiding by the COVID guidelines and restrictions, we're slowly but surely adding on more people per class, but still making sure that everyone is safe, including myself and my staff and all of our customers. And once it really gets warm outside to where we're not contending with snow days like today, we intend on taking our classes outside as well, because we understand that some people still aren't comfortable. Maybe they're not vaccinated, or maybe they're afraid of being around other people that aren't vaccinated. So we plan on having an option to where maybe we're out in the parking lot, and sometimes we'll even do it in a park setting.
I love that. I mean, it doesn't get better than like paints and nature. Seriously, just to be outside, that whole energy and vibe is great,
Yeah,
fantastic. And
I
so, for those that haven't been to your studio, talk about the experience. I've been there. I know I can tell you firsthand one of my favorite parts is the playlist. I was jamming when I was there. I was like, okay, this is. I love y'all's playlist. You're the wonderful woman. I apologize, I don't remember her name. Who was hosting? She was fabulous, just keeping us all painting. So, talk about that experience because that was really fun for me.
Yeah, so we try to well, when we describe our business, we always say it's an experience, It's not a product that we're selling or serving because we're a service-based business. And I am, hell bent on great customer service. When you come to our studio, we want everyone to feel welcome. We try to create a space that's warm and inviting. And yes, our playlist, we always get a lot of compliments on our playlist. One thing that is a little bit of a challenge in me knowing which playlist to play for any given group is once everyone gets in the studio, we may have a mixture of, some really old people, really young people, and it's just trying to find that balance to where we're not playing turn up music for 70-year-old people, but we're also not playing, really relaxed music or toned down music for 20-year-olds. So my number one playlist, I think it gives a great mixture because it has old school, it has new school. It's just a really great vibe. And it's what we do. My instructors are very upbeat. They know that they have to kind of match the tone of the class. As far as if everyone just looks like they want to have a therapeutic Thursday, that's what we need to be doing. If they are there to get their Friday night kicked off, we need to turn it up a notch. So we just really pay attention to the energy and the vibe in the room. But our only rule is good vibes only.
Mm. Yeah, I like it. There was good vibes. Oh, and so let's talk about the drinks because you had drinks. That was a bonus too. I had my little cocktail going. Talk about the drinks.
Okay. So a lot of the other paint and sips in Colorado, they only offer wine and beer options. And I knew going into the sip and paint business that I wanted to have a full bar just because I know my family and friends, they're not really wine or beer drinkers. And I just wanted to be able to have options and not be limited. And so I went ahead and got a full liquor license. And so we sell everything. And, of course, we have non-alcohol options for those that don't partake, but we have a full bar for those that do. And I'm excited because I bought a new slushy machine and the slushies have been a major hit already. So we have is either you can get it virgin, which means it's just, what it is, virgin, no liquor, or you can get it dirty, which means a shot of liquor of your choice, or you can get it filthy, which means 2 shots of the liquor of your choice.
Oh no, watch! I don't know. That paint might be going everywhere. I don't know if I want to see how those paintings are going to come out after with the dirty. But
Well, our motto is when in doubt, take a sip. So
yeah, I was definitely sipping, but I have to say I have to go back because I judged myself, and I know that that's like a thing with people when they paint. Is you judge your painting, you think everybody else's looks better, and I definitely was guilty. I thought mine was like the worst out of everybody. So talk about what you hear like from guests about, that creative experience and letting yourself go.
okay, so even if I just talk to someone on the street about painting, most people say, "Oh, I can't paint a stick figure." And, I just try to really convince them that we have instructors that are dope and they can take you through and your painting's going to be really great. You don't have to have any experience. And, when customers walk through the door, they're just like, "Oh my God, I can't really paint. This isn't going to turn out great. This isn't going to be a great night." And in our introduction, we try to let them know that you're here for fun. You're not Picasso. We're not Picasso. Your painting's not going to look like mine or your neighbors. And that's not what it's about. You're here to have fun with the people that you're surrounded by. Just have a great time, relax. If you semi follow the instructions, your painting should come out okay.
Yes, yeah, that part I did. I loved how y'all went play by play and gave us that time and opportunity. I do remember that. Like you didn't feel, you felt really relaxed because you gave that space and time to create that painting as we were going along.
Right. And it's all step by step instruction. So,
Mhm.
like I say, my instructors, they're dope. That's the only word that I can use that really describes them. And they really take their time. They're professional. They have great customer service. And most of all, they're extremely talented and skilled in what they do. So, any customer that feels like they can't do it, trust me, just come one time and you will not be disappointed.
I completely agree. So you're mentioning your team. Let's talk about your team. How many people do you have? And how does that all work with their schedules? What does your team look like?
So right now, I'm down to a team of 3. And that's fine just because we're still in the reopening phase. We're not extremely busy right now, but of course, I do plan on getting extremely busy and adding people to our team. Um, like I said before, my team is amazing. They are professional. They are highly skilled. The three that are with me now, they actually have degrees in arts. So, like I say, they have the skill to teach and to um, provide the customer service that you want from any business.
Yeah, I love it. So speaking of the team, how did you can you talk about how I know they have the art degrees, but how did you add on? Because if I can get a little personal about your business, I know as a small business owner, that's one of, at least for me, that was one of the hardest parts is adding people to the team because the cost. So how were you able to get to that point where you could be able to do that?
Well, I mean, starting out, I started out with two instructors because I knew that, I didn't have the revenue to bring on like 7 or 10 people, nor did I even need that. Um, and my business, it isn't really a 7 day a week business or even Monday through Friday, just because going by the demographics in that area, it's a working class community. So, a lot of people do not want to do entertainment type of things during the week. That's mainly for the weekend. So that's typically when we're open is Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And getting that and, hiring my instructors, of course, we went through a whole interview process and everything. I already had the wages set and everything, and it just all seemed to work out perfectly. A couple of them, I mean, they were really excited about the amount that I was willing to pay them, and that wasn't because of any inexperience that I had. It's because I wanted to pay them what they were worth, and I knew that if I did that, then there would be longevity, and that's what we created.
Yeah, that's very smart. And I definitely, and that's why one of the reasons I asked you to share, because I think it's important as small business owners to share our how we got to the space we are. Cause a lot of people are like, I don't even know how I'm going to, I can barely pay myself in the
Mhm.
business. How am I going to get to this place where I can pay employees as well? And what does that look like? And how do I get to that point?
If I can just add one thing, I think it's so important for any small business starting out. If you don't have all of the working capital that you need, but this dream is just like burning inside of you, and you know you have to do this, work a 9 to 5. Let your 9 to 5 finance your dream. That is like it to me. That's gold because a lot of people will sit on their dream because they don't have everything they need to get started. But if you work a 9 to 5 and you know that that is not your end all, let it finance your dream until you can stand alone.
Very good point. It's not. It doesn't have to always be all or nothing, and a lot of people feel that way. It's.
Right.
I completely agree with you. So we've talked a lot about the amazing things that different strokes. Is there something that we've left out that's unique? I know we've talked a lot about the hosting and the playlist and the drinks, but is there something? Gosh, and the slushies. That's a new unique. Honey, that's going to be a seller in this summer. Oh,
Definitely.
with all that, is there anything else that's unique with your business that stands out that sets you apart from others that you want to
Um, yes. So as you can see, I'm a Black woman, and I made sure that my studio represented me. And in saying that, we specialize in Black art. So we have a lot of Black art offerings, and we have instructors that look like what they're painting at that time. And so that sets us apart from the other sip and paint studios because I realize that a lot of them do Black art, but you may not have an instructor that looks like that art that they're painting. And that's really important to me. And some of the other things that we do is sip and paint on the beach, which we know Colorado doesn't have a beach, but we go out to a rural reservoir and we host classes out there. And it's really fun. It's like none other. I mean, everyone should try that at least once.
share?
We also have our mobile sip and paints, and that's where we come to your location, whether it's your home or a park or wherever, we can come to you mobily as well.
Oh, okay. That's new to me. I didn't know that. Good information.
Yeah.
do you guys have a limit on how many can be, even coming mobily at someone's home or an event space, or is there a limit to the party when you come to the party?
I would say a limit would maybe be 100 tops. And that's just because we would have 2 or 3 instructors, and anything larger than that, it just kind of has the propensity to get out of control. So 100 would be the most that we would want in a mobile setting.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for joining us. He says, "Hey, Daphne and Jessica." So let's. I know we're almost out of time, and I definitely want to get all the information in. So we talked about your location. How do people sign up? How do people talk about that?
So we're a reservation-based business. We do not encourage any payments at the door, especially with COVID and everything. So you go onto our website, which is differentstrokespaintandsip.com, and you see the calendar, all of the different painting options, and you register right there. It's really a seamless process. Book your you book your seats, and you show up for the class. That's really all you have to do.
Yes, and I've done the process. It was easy, so I've done it firsthand. I did it on my cell phone, so
Yep.
do it on your phone.
But I will say, if you want to book a private party, then you have to call the studio, because there's a lot more involved to doing a private party, because at that point we will be closing the studio off to the public.
Yes, and do you have to be a certain amount in advance for a private party?
We require at least 2 weeks in advance. Sometimes it may take a little longer, because with the private parties, we give the guests the option to select their own painting. And we also offer, if you go through our gallery and you don't find a painting that you want, then we can custom create a painting for you. Of course, that comes at a charge, but 2 weeks is actually sufficient notice to set up a private party. But if there's like a lot of different ins and outs that we need to do for you, it could take a little longer.
Okay, okay. And definitely when after the show, I'll definitely put your information in the comments so that everybody has it that goes back and views this later, that even that had to join us live. You do have Instagram, right?
Yes,
Facebook. Yes. Is it the same name?
same name. We tend to focus more on Facebook right now, but we're going to get more into Instagram. But there's a existing page now.
Yeah, you got to use, because you guys are all a visual business. So for sure,
Okay.
I'd love to see some of the people who visit us paintings. That would be really cool.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna start doing some TikToks and all of that. So
Oh yeah, you got to get on the TikTok. Everybody's on the TikTok thing, and yeah, you got a perfect business to do some fun TikTok, especially with the music and all of that. Yeah, yeah, that'll
right.
be fun. Is there, Daphne? Is there anything that we missed or didn't talk about that you want to say as final words before we end the show?
As final words, I would just say we're a small business. We're trying to thrive, and tough market right now. We've been able to sustain during COVID, but the best is still yet to come, and we need support. Support all of your local businesses, no matter the race or the culture. Just support small businesses, because this is our way of living, and we support the communities that we're in, and we need to be supported.
I absolutely agree. But I do have to shout you out because it'd be nice where we get to the point where we don't have to do this. But I'm sorry, I'm going to, because in my neighborhood, like I said, I was dang near born and raised there where you're at. It is so nice to see Black business owners and women. Like you said, I'm going to support anybody, but that's just a bonus to see somebody who's like you in your neighborhood owns a business. So
Yeah.
I just have to give you a shout out for that, because I didn't see it growing up.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very important to have representation, in our communities that we serve, and we can't exist without support. So it's extremely detrimental.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I know we had it in other areas close by, but right where you're at, I know that just wasn't the case. So, yeah, I
Right.
love it, and continue to thrive and shine. And we're going to continue to support you. Uh,
Thank you.
uh, thanks. Paulo just joined us, and hi, Paulo. He says, I live across the street. We'll ensure to check you out, Daphne. Yes. Yes.
Woo! Thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have a fun. Between the I mean, it's the best combination: painting, playlists, drinks. I don't know what else you want for a good.
Right. We call it a whole vibe in itself. It's just a vibe.
It really is. It really is. And Rainey looks like she's joining us. Rainey, where is it located? It's at I Live in Chambers, Rainey.
Right.
Right in that shopping center.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it has been such a pleasure, Daphne. You will have to hopefully come back and join us so that you can give us, especially because I know like things are going to get popping in the summer. So I'd love to hear an update soon on everything and how everything's going and the new things that you have coming down the pipeline, because I'm sure you will have some.
Okay, that's awesome. I would love to join you guys again. And I hope to see people that join this podcast at the studio. And I would like to say, if anyone from this podcast come and visit Different Strokes, if you mention Takeover Tuesdays, you get a free slushie, and they are the bomb.
There you go. I'll mention Takeover Tuesdays. I mean, hey, y'all, take advantage of that. So Takeover Tuesdays, free slushie. I mean, there you go. Got it. Got to support. Check it out. Well, yes. Daphne, it has been a pleasure. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure I'll be back for a visit and some more painting. And thank you for being on Takeover Tuesdays.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, yes. Until next time, this is Takeover Tuesdays. Stay inspired.
Thank you.